Are you planning your first trip to Japan and feel a bit overwhelmed? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Japan is an incredibly unique and fascinating country with a rich culture, history, and amazing food. But if it's your first time visiting, you might feel confused. That's why we put together a list of tips to help make your trip to Japan as smooth as possible. In this video, you're going to learn 10 tips to make your trip to Japan an enjoyable experience. So, grab your backpack and let's get started. Before we get right into it, remember to stick around until the end so you don't miss out on the bonus section where I'll be explaining why it is considered rude to talk on the train in Japan. Welcome to our channel where we share with you all of the amazing places on this planet. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Ready? Tip 1. Get a pocket Wi-Fi. Having internet access on the go is a lifesaver, especially when you're in a foreign country. Japan has some of the most advanced technology in the world, and you'll want to be able to access all of it. From Google Maps to translation apps, having a reliable internet connection is a must. And trust me, you don't want to rely on your phone's data plan. Roaming charges can add up quickly, and before you know it, you'll be paying a fortune for your internet usage. With a pocket Wi-Fi, you'll have your personal hotspot that you can take with you wherever you go. Plus, it's small and portable, so you can slip it into your pocket or bag and take it with you on the go. But that's not all. A pocket Wi-Fi also comes in handy when you're trying to navigate your way around Japan. Sure, you can use Google Maps, but sometimes you need more detailed information, like the location of the nearest convenience store or the best route to take to your destination. With a pocket Wi-Fi, you'll have access to all of that information and more. Tip 2. Learn some basic Japanese words and phrases. Japan is a very polite culture, and even just a few basic phrases will go a long way. Let's start with the most important word of all, hello. In Japanese, it's konnichiwa. This can be used as a greeting in any situation, whether you're meeting a new friend or entering a store. Next up is arigato, thank you, a phrase you'll be using the most on your trip. The Japanese people are incredibly polite and will appreciate it if you show your gratitude. Another important phrase is excuse me, sumimasen, used to get someone's attention or to apologize. Finally, goodbye or see you later is sayonara. This is a more formal way of saying goodbye, so it's best to use it in more formal situations. So there you have it, some basic Japanese words and phrases that will come in handy on your trip to Japan. Remember, even if you can't speak fluently, just trying to speak a little bit of the language will go a long way in showing respect and making your trip more enjoyable. Tip 3. Don't rely solely on your credit card. Japan is a kind of cash-based society, and you'll find that many places only accept cash. While the country is known for its advanced technology and cashless society, there are still many places where cash is king. So make sure you have enough yen on hand, especially when you're traveling to rural areas. For example, you might find yourself at a small family-run restaurant or street vendor that doesn't accept credit cards. Or you might want to buy something from a local market or shop that only takes cash. So, my advice? Always carry some cash with you, just in case. You can easily withdraw yen from ATMs at most banks and convenience stores, but make sure to check with your bank about any fees or restrictions before you go. Tip 4. Don't tip. Tipping is not a common practice in Japan, and you may even offend someone by offering a tip. In Japan, service is included in the price of your meal or service, and the workers take pride in their work and don't expect extra compensation. So when you're out and about in Japan, don't worry about leaving a tip at a restaurant or for a hotel worker. It's not necessary and can actually be seen as insulting. Just enjoy the excellent service you'll receive and appreciate the culture of respect and hard work that's ingrained in Japanese society. Tip 5. Respect the local culture. When traveling to a new place, it's essential to understand and appreciate the customs and traditions of the people who live there. Japan is no exception. So, let's talk about some ways to respect the local culture while you're exploring the land of the rising sun. First is bowing, a sign of respect and is used in many different situations, from meeting someone for the first time to expressing gratitude. So, when in Japan, if someone bows to you, it's appropriate to bow back. Another important aspect of Japanese culture is the emphasis on cleanliness and orderliness. This is reflected in things like the strict rules around shoes. In many homes and traditional buildings, you'll be expected to take off your shoes before entering, so make sure to always have clean socks handy. Another thing to keep in mind is the importance of manners and politeness. In Japan, it's common to use honorifics when speaking to people and to use polite language in general. So if you're not sure how to address someone, It's always better to err on the side of politeness. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that subscribe button for more content like this. It would really help our small channel grow so we can make even more videos for you. Tip 6. Get a Japan Rail Pass. Japan has an incredibly efficient and reliable rail system, and the Japan Rail Pass is a great way to save money and see the country. Now you might be wondering how to get a Japan Rail Pass. It's actually quite simple. You can purchase it before your trip from a variety of authorized sellers, or you can buy it in Japan from select train stations. Just make sure to have your passport with you when buying it. Tip number 7. Visit a temple or shrine. Japan is full of temples and shrines, and they're a great way to experience the country's rich culture and history. Now, the great thing about temples and shrines is that there are so many of them all over Japan. You can't really go wrong with visiting one. But some of the most famous and popular ones include the Meiji Shrine in Tokyo, the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto, and the Todaiji Temple in Nara. Each of these places has its unique history and atmosphere, so it's worth checking out a few of them while you're in Japan. When you visit a temple or shrine, there are a few things you should know. For one, you'll want to dress modestly and remove your shoes before entering. You should also be respectful and quiet while you're inside. One of the best things about visiting a temple or shrine is that you get to see a different side of Japan. These places are often very peaceful and serene, and they give you a glimpse into the country's rich history and culture. Plus, you might even get lucky and catch a traditional ceremony or festival taking place. Just be sure to follow the rules, such as not taking pictures inside the temple. Tip number 8. Try the food. Japan is known for its delicious and diverse food, so don't be afraid to try something new. The country also has a fantastic street food culture, and you'll find vendors selling everything from takoyaki to yakisoba on nearly every corner. It's a great way to try a variety of different foods at a budget-friendly price. When it comes to sushi, you'll want to head to Sushiya. These restaurants specialize in sushi, and you'll find the freshest fish and the most experienced sushi chefs. And don't be afraid to ask the chef for recommendations on what to order. Don't forget about ramen. Remember to bring some cash, as most street vendors and small restaurants don't accept cards. Tip 9. Visit a traditional onsen. Onsens are traditional Japanese hot springs and are a must-visit during your trip. They're a great way to relax and unwind after a long day of sightseeing. An onsen is a hot spring bath, and they're a staple in Japanese culture. They're known for their healing properties and are a great way to relax and unwind after a long day of exploring. One of the best things about an onsen is that you can find them all over Japan. Whether you're in the mountains, by the ocean, or in the city, you're sure to find one nearby. Some onsens even have outdoor baths where you can soak while taking in the beautiful views. So if you're planning a trip to Japan, make sure to add an onsen visit to your itinerary. It's an experience you won't forget, and one that will leave you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. Finally, we have avoid peak travel season as tip 10. Japan is a popular tourist destination and can get crowded during the peak travel season. While it's true that peak travel season in Japan does offer some beautiful sights and great weather, it also comes with some downsides. First of all, the crowds can be overwhelming. Imagine trying to navigate through packed streets and trying to get a glimpse of those cherry blossoms with a sea of people in front of you. Not exactly the peaceful Zen experience you were hoping for, right? Secondly, prices tend to be higher during the peak travel season. Hotels, flights, and even train tickets can be more expensive during these times. So what's the alternative? Well, consider traveling to Japan during the shoulder season, which is typically in late fall or early spring. The weather is still pleasant, the crowds are much smaller, and prices are lower. Plus, you'll be able to experience some unique events and festivals that aren't as crowded as they are during peak season. Now, moving right into the promised bonus. If you've ever been on a train in Japan, you may have noticed that things are pretty quiet. People are sitting or standing in silence, not making too much noise. And there's a reason for that. It's considered rude to talk loudly or disturb other passengers. That's right, if you're planning on chatting with your travel companion on a train in Japan, you'll want to keep your voices low. And if you need to make a phone call, it's better to step off the train and find a quieter spot. But why is this the case? Well, it's all about respect for others. In Japan, there's a strong emphasis on being considerate to those around you, and that includes not making too much noise on public transportation. And it's not just talking that's frowned upon. Loud music, eating, and even having your phone on loud ringtones can all be considered rude on a train in Japan. Now, this might seem a little strict at first, but once you get used to it, you'll find that it's actually quite nice to have a peaceful and quiet ride. Plus, it's a great opportunity to take a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and just relax. So there you have it, our top 10 tips for first-time travelers to Japan. Remember, Japan is a unique and fascinating country, and a little preparation goes a long way. We hope you find these tips helpful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more fun and engaging content.